What it's saying is AI could trigger an economic spiral where human intelligence becomes less scarce, which has huge implications on, employments, financial stability, and those sorts of things. So it sort of breaks down a cycle that happens. So I'll break down the steps in this cycle. So 1, AI gets better and cheaper. We've already seen that happen. 2, companies replace white-collar workers with AI. We've just seen an example of that last week, where Block, which is owned by Jack Dorsey, Twitter founder, he laid off, half of his staff?
20 or 40%? 40%.
40%.
And then the stock went up 20%. Yeah.
Exactly. And then the next step is corporate margins improve and stocks rally. We saw that basically instantly, like Block's share price spiked. Next step, displaced workers earn less and spending declines. Next, consumer demand weakens. Next, firms cut more labor and invest more in AI. And then AI continues to improve further. And so what that means is a lot of these white collar workers, these sort of middle class, like decent income earners, are, out of a job. They're no longer able to use their skills and intelligence on what they, and earn lots of money on it. And these people often have, large expenditures, whether it be mortgages, car loans, things like that. And then, we saw it in the global financial crisis. Then things start to unwind and ultimately leads to a collapse. Now, as I said, it's a scenario, and it's looking pretty bleak, but it does have some interesting insight there around crypto and stablecoins.
I thought it was funny that they got a shout out.
Yeah, really interesting, because it talks about how AI agents or new economies will be driven by agents, which is basically AI transacting autonomously. And so it talks about how card transactions have the fees are too high, the margins are too high on card transactions. So what do these agents do? They go to cheaper, quicker alternatives, right? And what they're moving to is fast crypto networks like Solana, Ethereum, L2s, and they're transacting stablecoins on there. So it kind of leads to this adoption arc where we're seeing maybe the big adoption arc doesn't happen from humans itself, and it happens from AI. Because we've always talked about UI, UX, and usability of these blockchain infrastructure, wallet infrastructure, bridging between networks. It's all a bit overwhelming for the everyday person, but maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe the next wave of adoption comes from these AI agents.
Yeah, so like the flow there being, you've got a chat going on your phone with your AI agent, say, get my wife flowers. It just goes away, finds a florist. I'm probably gonna have to buy flowers now. And does all the transactions without you knowing, and says, cool, flowers on the way. And it's done the transaction and everything in the background. It's settled. And again, I think there's a nice little Twitter thread I saw of someone just asking the different AI agents, if you had to pick a way to transact, what would you pick? And they're all kind of saying stablecoins as well.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, because people might think, well, stablecoins, I can't really make money on that. But the interesting part is,
you can use it, but
yeah. And as I said, they're likely going to use networks that are able to scale very quickly, like Ethereum, like Solana. That bodes well for those tokens, right?
That's right.